Okay, it is the second week in June. We are going to take a quick look at the front garden, and what we had exclusively as garlic is now has some new neighbors. So we're excited about that. So most of the garlic, if we look at it, some of it is this stuff over here are still mostly green with a little bit of the yellowing and browning. Some varieties you can tell are more and way more dried out and ready to go, and the ones over there you can just see like the tips. So they're in different stages, but I'm probably gonna I was gonna do a lot of harvesting today, but it was a torrential downpour yesterday, so everything's pretty soaked. So I probably will wait a few days just to let everything dry out before I start pulling it up, because it's easier for it to dry out when in place than for me to touch it and when it's wet, and kind of decreases the wrapper's stability. So we're gonna leave that for a few days for some of them. Some of them I'm gonna pull, but anywho. So this one, I can't remember off the top of my head. I believe it's Silver Skin. This one's Rocambole, and these guys are both soft necks. This one has just popped up with a scape, which was not there a couple weeks ago. And traditionally these guys don't produce the scapes, but they did now, so we actually will have more scapes to eat, and also a good indicator that maybe these guys are not yet ready. In the middle here, down in there, is the watermelon plants that we have. So they both came up, they're looking good, even in the forest of garlic, so that's exciting. Over here it's a little easier to see our new arrival. This is a butternut squash, and there wasn't as many plants here. They were larger cloves that I planted, so these should be larger bulbs of these other two varieties. But there is our beautiful butternut squash, looking huge and fantastic. Some part of that is that squash just grow faster than melons, but also, like I said, it's got a lot more sun and access to doesn't have as many tall neighbors. So like I said, this variety here is kind of holding, looking pretty ragged, so we'll probably pull it, and that one's not looking too hot. That, I believe, is artichoke variety. Another soft neck, the rest are hard neck, so we will see what the difference is whenever we go to harvest those. And then we have these varieties here, and I can't remember exactly. I believe that's marbled purple stripe. This one's called Turban, and it's definitely ready to go. Most of the plants are falling over. So we'll go ahead and take that today, just because they're looking pretty ragged. And then there's another planting of watermelon. You can see there's the seed leaves and there's the true leaf. So it's looking good. And once again, the whole squash versus melon thing, this was completely, pretty much free of competition, but it's still just a small plant compared to the large butternut squash. And our next guest is the pumpkin, which is another squash. They just grow so much faster. So anywho, and then these ones I believe are purple stripe and porcelain, and so they're starting to definitely show signs that they'll be ready to go. And there's our new watermelon, or I'm sorry, this one is the pumpkin. And then we'll be pulling these out fairly soon. I want to get them out because I just want to let the new inhabitants have plenty of room to roam. Plus I don't want their roots to get caught up and any of that stuff. So plus I just want to get this out of here. So that's the garlic, and then the new things there. Over here we have our new watermelon. So once again, this is a watermelon with no neighbors whatsoever. Still just not as big as those squash because they're so much quicker, faster. Here's our corn. It's hopefully there'll be more seedlings pop up. We've got some that popped up immediately, some that popped up later, because I planted probably that spacing right there. That's how it is the whole box, but I don't see very good germination here, so we'll just have to see if some of them are going to be coming later. See, there's one right there. Hopefully the good soaking rain will help. We've been watering it, but I just don't know. I didn't have any trouble with the ones in the back, but you never know, different conditions and all that stuff. So anywho, that is the front garden. So garlic's getting very close to, I'm going to harvest a bunch of them this week, and then our melons and squash are taken off. And that is all for this week in the front.